All right, guys, welcome back. Day number 19, almost at the end, going through every day here in January. So what would we do if we were getting started again, getting off the sidelines, restarting? Maybe this is just your first time, and that's the whole idea of what these videos are about. So day number 19 today, and the title of this video, as you can see, is simply called Rules of Three. Rules of three are not something that's new. Let me just state that. Many people will tell you that they've come up with this new fandangle thing. The reality is there's so much stuff out there that we just don't use properly that there's no need to go and come up with something that you think is new and unique. And rules of three is one of those things. You see, we see it just about everywhere in our life, and we see it for a reason, because three simple things, A, B, C, X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, are all things that we can, up here between this left and right ear, we can grasp. So rules of three: storytelling, beginning, middle, end. Simple, straightforward. Rules of three for survival, 3 days without water, 3 days without shelter, 3 days without food, that sort of stuff. That's what rules of three are all about. They're designed for us to keep things simple. So same thing too, when we're doing this plan, keeping the rules of three, and by now you probably have already worked out I keep it to three things, three areas. One being the workout stuff, what I call mobilize. The second thing is the mental stuff, the stuff up here, the stuff that keeps us going or not going, should that be the case, and I call that mentalize. In other words, to make real the things that we think. And the third thing is what I call metabolize, or the food thing, nutrition, whatever, because at the end of the day, that's what our body is doing. It is metabolizing that stuff that we put in, and it's extracting what it needs. And for some of us, it's extracting a lot of stuff that we probably don't need because we're over consuming certain things that are not necessarily good for us. They're not real foods. So rules of three is simple. Now I'm going to simply get you to go back to your plan, have a look at that, and see where you can put rules of three in. Is it in your workout? In other words, you might do 3 sets of 3 exercises. Simple, short, sharp, done. You'll be in and out in under 30 minutes. Simple, end of story. Is it a 3 by 10 minute walk, or is it a 30-minute walk? Doesn't make a difference whether there are multiples, but there are little tiny things that we can do throughout the day to get us to hit that target. So I say I get 10-minute walk in the morning, 10-minute walk at lunch while we're going out to get a lunch, if that's the case, or do whatever, or if you're going out with someone, just have a bit of a chat, and then a 10-minute walk on the way home. And that could be simply you get off a bus stop before or after your normal stop and just walk that 10 minutes to or fro wherever you need to go. That's it, simple, straightforward. Squat, bench, deadlift, as far as the big three when it comes to doing your workouts. In the headspace thing, what are the 3 things that we should think of? Well, realistically, number 1, I want my head to be clear. So therefore, number 1, I want to get some good sleep. Number 2, I want to read, I want to consume, and I want to understand things a little bit better that can help me become a better person later on. And number 3, I want to make sure that I keep that commitment to myself that I'm going to do it. It might be 3 sessions at a minimum in a week. There you go, simple, straightforward, not that hard, and therefore it's about us keeping these things up here. And then the food thing, the metabolized thing, nutrition thing, whatever you call it. A good example that I use, the rule of three, is when I'm putting together my food, my plate, and the client wants to know, well, what should I eat? That's easy, just put 3 things on your plate. That's it, 3 things on your plate: a protein, a carbohydrate, and a fat. Now that could be something as simple as, well, we're going to prioritize protein. We may get some form of carbohydrate in there, particularly if we're training, and then as far as the fats, instead of worrying about it, then maybe it's a good fistful or 3 of vegetables on your plate, so that way you get in the other little, what we call micronutrients, your magnesium, your calciums, and those types of things that are also good for us. Likewise too, we can use the rules of three when we're going to do our grocery shopping. So I want a meal prep for the week, instead of ordering in or doing whatever, then simply pick 3 sources of protein, pick 3 sources of carbohydrates, and then pick 3 sources of some sort of fats. Maybe it's an olive oil, maybe it's an avocado, something similar, a light dressing, should that be the case. 3 by 3 by 3, 3 by 3 is 9, 9 by 3 is 27. There's 27 combinations that you can have in that week, that each one will give you a protein, a carbohydrate, and a fat on your plate. 27. 7 threes are 21 if we're doing normal meals during the week, plus a few little snacks. Lo and behold, there we go. We've got our week covered by using the rules of 3. And again, it ain't rocket science. It's not, something new. It's just something that I find that works for me and works for the people, and they want to institute that. So I want you to go away today, and I want you to think about what's the rule of 3. For a lot of us, it could just simply be that nutrition element, 3 by 3 by 3. Do that. Shop next week like that, and come back and tell me how much food did you waste. If you only bought that and enough of that, then you shouldn't have wasted any food, which is the other thing that we do, because we throw away around 60%, God forbid, 60% of our fresh fruit and veg from the average household. Go figure. And that's a stat, and that's a real stat from the, what's it called? It's something to do with the international, to do with food wastage or whatever the case is. Anyway, so rules of 3 for today. I'll be back shortly with another 2 to keep us up to speed. Bye.